Jason's Texas Adventures, and we're over here at the Nacogdoches Railroad Depot. Thought we'd stop by here before getting a bite to eat. This talks about increased industry and economic growth, and how trains pulled out of town loaded with stacks of lumber and bales of cotton, and returned with luxury goods, bricks, and new residents. This is a very beautiful railroad depot here in Nacogdoches, inside and out. Here's a cool picture here. It says Veterans Locomotive, commemorating those who have served and those serving our nation. Here's some historic pieces: a telegraph key, a ticket from 1911, a leather wallet, and railroad passes. Don't forget your ticket, guys. This talks about travel before the railroad. A long and slow road. Established as a mission in 1716, Nacogdoches lay at the edge of Spanish Texas along the El Camino Real. By the 1820s, the King's Highway was little more than a dirt trail. Still, the community grew as wagons loaded with American immigrants bumped slowly along the narrow path through towering pines. This says Rock Island Railroad Silver Service, and we got a silver plated teapot, a glass bottle, and a Southern Pacific dining car menu from 1935. The last train, the end of an era. It says, although freight cargo continues to be hauled over the railroad, the last passenger train pulled out of the Nacogdoches Railroad Depot in 1954. Gotta love these old pictures. Picture what life was like working on the railroad. Got some cool signage here. And riding the rails, the passenger experience. This talks about how the earlier trains were notoriously unreliable, and by the early 1900s, the Southern Pacific ran this station and passenger travel was more dependable. This is how it was back in the day, passengers getting ready to get on the train. Here's a hat worn by a brakeman working in Harlingen, Texas in the 1940s and 1950s. The brakeman's original job was to assist the braking of a train by applying brakes on individual wagons. And yep, the company employees working on the railroad. Some great pictures here. This talks about Women's Army Corps, WAAC. During World War II, the railroad brought some of the nation's first women to serve in uniform to our community. Glad they're preserving American and railroad history right here in Nacogdoches. I know there's much more to see and do here in this beautiful town, but I'm gonna have to save that for another time. There's a festival going on in town here today, and it's getting really hot outside, and I gotta bring my parents back home, but great time out here. It's nice to be in the air condition too. It's hot outside. I know they have some historic buildings here in town and beautiful brick streets, but we'll have to save that for another time in the future. But glad we stopped here today. This is a lining bar that was used as a lever to keep tracks in alignment. Most people referred to the workers who used these tools as Gandy dancers. This referred to the rhythmic way they worked together. It looked like a dance and was often accompanied by a song as well. Cool stuff here. Glad we stopped by. Well, very beautifully done. Very historic piece of East Texas history right here. Let's go take a look outside. There's a historic marker out here I want to see. Let's go check it out. Got some beautiful flowers out here. And some beautiful blue skies, but yes, it's hot. It's Texas, guys. Texas in the summertime. Let's go see what this historic marker says. Too bad we ain't got a train rolling through these tracks here, but maybe next time, we'll see. It says Shea Locomotive number 2005. Vertical piston drive and direct gear design was patented in 1880 by Ephraim Shea. This 36-ton engine was built by Lima Locomotive and Machine Company in 1907. It talks about how it was first used on tram roads from Forest to Mills at Manning and Camden, and later on the company-owned Moscow, Camden, and San Augustine Railroad. It was parked in Camden in the early 1920s and remained until 1970 when it was brought here. Attached log car was used during the same period by Angelina County Lumber Company. So some pretty interesting history out here in East Texas. Had a great time out here with my mom and dad. So from the Nacogdoches Railroad Depot, have a wonderful day, everybody.